Hi, it's Mitch from pickdawgz.com. I got the Puck Dogs with me, of course, and got NBA, NHL, and college basketball today. So be sure to check out everything going on today at pickdawgz.com. Of course, if you have things to say, the best thing to do is post it in the Facebook group. If you want to tell me how awesome my picks are or whatever, post it in the Facebook group, man. I don't have time to read your emails. Love you, but super inefficient. Don't like it. It's like, I can't tell you how many emails I get every day where it's something that people could have just posted in the Facebook group. It's like, that's what it's there for. Anyways, of course, if you had a problem with your premium picks, getting your premium picks, whatever, email me, whatever. I can help you. But if you have a problem with your premium picks, email me. But it's just general jibber jabber, man. I just don't. It's like the videos and the sites, they don't run by magic. As you can see, I can barely open my eyes. Anyways, man, how's it going, guys?
Awesome. I'm ready to have some all day basketball, all day hockey today. It's not a holiday up here, so we get a bit of a treat for that.
Yep. No holidays up here. Weather's warming up. It's like -9 out today, so it's supposed to hit we're supposed to hit the +1. Things are going to start to melt.
Mid-70s here, so.
Rod's pulling out the Speedo at that point.
Yep. At that point, oh yeah, +1 for sure. Go out and do some yard work.
I'm still maintaining my streak. I've never worn long pants since I've moved here. Not while I've been on island. Not one time. Just nice. It's never been that cold. I wore a hoodie yesterday out on the golf course. It was like 68 in the morning. But anyways,
I don't think it's never snowed in Hawaii, has it? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, it snows up on the mountains. At the top of the mountains, it does snow for sure. Not
definitely in the valley.
Just a little bit, all the way at the top. Of course, if you're watching the show, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Morning to everyone. Give everyone just a couple seconds to join us. Hopefully you guys caught the Spread Knowledge show. Software 18, 11, and 1 in our show picks. So, not bad. We'll take that any day of the week. Still, according to Charles, still people out there that say it's too expensive. It's a penny a pick. And I say, if you can't afford a penny a pick to get plus 109 units or whatever that software is, 18 and 11, then time to pack it in. I can't endorse your sports betting career or hobby or anything of that nature, because if a penny a pick or $1 a day is too much for you, you should not be betting on sports, man. That is the last thing you should be doing. I might lose you as a viewer, might lose you as a customer, might lose you as whatever, but I don't care, man. I am against all my moral beliefs. So in that Chiefs Titans game, Chris, what did you think of that pass interference call at the end of the game? I mean,
yeah,
the guy turned his head around. It was like he was blocked by the jersey there. The receiver stops running. He turns his head around to look at the ball, and he runs into him. They call pass interference. I don't know, man. I don't think the Titans were going to win, but I'll tell you what, just ridiculous. It's like,
it was a pretty. We've seen way more blatant pass interference that didn't get called than that.
It's just so stupid. Like at that point of the game, it's like all of a sudden you're going to call ticky-tack pass interference. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
How about on the ice yesterday? Anything exciting happened? Because I don't watch hockey, so I would have missed it.
Good game between Pittsburgh and Boston. They sure battled each other.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah, Pittsburgh snuck it out at the end. And the Blackhawks won again. So they're like, what, 3 points out of a playoff spot now?
Let's see.
I think that's where they are in the standings. 3 points out of a wild card.
I'm trying to pull up the standings. Yeah, 3 points out with a game in hand on both teams in wild card position right now.
All right. Well, speaking of hockey, we got the Wild Avalanche minus 425 here against the Red Wings. Rod, any value here at all on the Red Wings? A plus 3.25.
I looked at my. I seen it plus 2.5 is minus 155, and then I'm going. Does Detroit can they even cover that? I don't know. I'm looking at this. The only way I'm betting this game is I'm going to take Colorado team total over.
Chris?
Yeah, for me, if I have to pick a side, it's like Rod said, this line.
Yeah, because that's kind of the premise of the show.
No, I know.
It's like if you don't pick a side,
no, I know.
We don't have a show. It's like we just sit here and I don't know what we could do, but it's if we're not going to pick games, kind of. That is the show. It's like
yeah, I'm not laying minus 425, even 1.5, so like minus 160. I would take the puck line, but also I'd go under 6.5 only because I don't think Detroit's going to do enough to be able to contribute to that number. I'm also going to put a little bit on. There's an option for both teams to score in 60 minutes. I'm going to go no at plus 425. I think Detroit gets shut out here 4-0. That's I think where some value is in this one.
All right, I'm going to actually make a pick in this game too, and I'm going to take Detroit plus the 1.5. I just think that I think it's a good enough bet to make. I think there's enough value in it that you get enough money back that it's worth the risk. And when you look at the numbers here, it suggests that there's enough value all the way to do it. I didn't look at spread knowledge and what it has to say about it, but I'm going to guess that it might agree with me just on a pure value standpoint, even though it tends to lean towards the favorites in these situations. But when we look at the puck line numbers here, on the road, Detroit on the puck line is just 10-13, so there's 3 games below 500 on the puck line here. And I'm going to guess they were a dog in every single one of those. Okay, I'm gonna say they haven't been favored on the road all season. So, yeah, that means they're getting a goal and a half in all those games. 10-13, it's really not that bad. I'm gonna guess at home the Avalanche have been favored in almost all of their games this season. They're just 12-12. So you're getting plus money on a coin flip here.
Yep.
So it just seems to be the place to be, and I'm going to guess the world is going to be on the Avs in this one as well. Even at the minus 425, all those parlay players, they're going to be sticking it in their parlays, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I say these things on the show. I think I've hit like 1 out of 15 of these hockey things, but I've had a few of them. But to me, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon game. We got NBA today, so it's not like it's the only game in town. So we got another game. We got the Panthers and the Wild. This one looks to be a little bit more competitive, at least on paper. 8 p.m. Eastern Time takes center ice as there is no other games, right? I'm going to guess tomorrow we probably have a giant schedule, but
5.
That's it?
Yeah, it's like I said yesterday, it's slow up until the All-Star break now.
All right, I'll take a look at the schedule. I have it right here.
Yeah, 5 games.
It is slow. Then 2 on Wednesday. Yeah, it's really slow. When is the All-Star game?
The All-Star break starts on the 23rd, I believe, up until the 27th.
Of February?
I think
of January.
Oh.
I think Friday night is the skills competition, and then Saturday is usually the All-Star.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so there's 2 games on Wednesday, and then then Monday we get back to usual. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, Friday's the skills competition in the All-Stars, and then Saturday is the All-Star game.
Good for the NBA, man. That's what I got. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Or for the NHL, it's like getting the All-Star game out of the way.
It's
also,
like the point.
Putting it on that off weekend for NFL, smart.
Yeah.
everyone hates an All-Star game, right? I mean, nobody likes All-Star games. So if you're gonna do it and continue to go on with this lunacy, then then just put it at a time where I mean, if it doesn't work on this, Saturday, is it Saturday or Sunday the game?
Saturday.
That's Saturday because the schedule starts again on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it doesn't work on that Saturday, I got news for you. It's never going to work because there'll be a ton of college hoops going on. There'll be some NBA, but it's not going to be a lot to go up against. It's not like it's Super Bowl or something. Yeah, this is what are you going to go up against? The Pro Bowl? It's like exactly.
I quit watching that thing. Oh, painful.
I think it's my microphone that's hissing. It's because my computer fan is going. But so, anyways, the Wild against the Panthers here, Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Florida minus 110. Minnesota's goaltending is still too shaky for me, even though they've been really good at home this season. We've seen Florida light teams up left and right, and like I said, Minnesota's goaltending, I think Florida does some damage here. It's even up being a 4-2 game, so I'll take Florida here.
How about you?
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take the Wild here at home. Florida's 1-10, their last 11 in Minnesota. They don't fare so well in Minnesota. Minnesota's only lost 5 times at home all year. So give me the Wild at home here. It's going to be a close game.
So here's where I have a problem with long-term trends. Let's go back to that number on the Panthers record in Minnesota. 1 and what?
1-10 last 11.
All right.
So they only play twice a year, though.
Yeah, and these games are
It'll go for like 5 years or something.
These games are in a different lifetime, and let's look at the Panthers. I mean, this is clearly a different Panthers team than we've seen in recent years, right? It's kind of like saying that it's kind of like saying, the Niners beat the Chiefs in 1973. It's kind of the players move so often now, right? To me, it's just hard to go that far back. Even the coaches have changed. So I don't know. I used to be a trends guy, to be honest with you. I used to be a lot more into the trends, and now I'm a lot less into the trends than I ever have been.
In other sports, sure, I'm not going to follow that. But in hockey, for some reason, these trends seem to keep going. They don't. Whether the players have changed or not, these team attitudes are the same. I don't know why. Look how many years. If you look how many years has this been going? So they have 1 win over in 5 years.
So last year the Panthers were decent, 36, 32, and 14. The year before that, the Panthers were 44 and 30. The Panthers have been pretty good.
Yeah, they
shows how little I know about hockey.
Yeah, Panthers haven't been horrible.
35, 36. They haven't been horrible. All right. Forget everything I ever said. All right. 1811 is pretty bad for a software. Aaron D is what you call a moron. Okay? Everyone want to see what a moron looks like? Right here. This is what a moron looks like. I mean, this is what just an idiot. Okay? Here's somebody that knows nothing about sports betting. Here's somebody that knows absolutely zero. Okay? This guy's an ass.
Yeah.
I mean,
if we go
1811 in sports betting is bad. Yeah. I mean, that's what you call he's just an idiot, right? I mean, I don't even know what to even say. An imbecile, right? I mean, if you pick over 60% winners in sports betting, you are a rock star among rock stars. Tim Donaghy, who fixed NBA games as a referee, hit 58%. And they were able to pick him off as fixing games at 58.8%. That is what he picked. That is what his games hit. Okay? At 58.8%, it was such an outlier that they were able to hone in that this guy was fixing games and point spreads. It's like he wasn't fixing outcomes of games as far as the wins and losses, but he was as far as the point spreads were going. Calling fouls, guys getting foul shots, disallowing baskets, calling the charge, right? Not in, well, that's what he did. He didn't affect the actual outcome of the game as to who was going to win or lose. But he did it. He did everything. He was 58.8%, and he basically, he could have had it and he wanted. And they were able, because he was at 58.8%, his games hit at a certain thing, they were able to zero in that this guy was fixing games. That's how much of an outlier that is. And this guy is saying 18-11 is bad. You're what an idiot. I mean, it's just the dumbest thing I think. I mean, that and the minus 900 favorites on the money line. I mean, that's the guys who claim that they're the system, right? These guys that have systems. You ever see these system plays? Oh, my system is 94-3, right? It takes about 28 years for that system to get to 28 wins, because it's like there's these 150 factors that all have to be in place, and then it's like buy 6.5 points, on top of it. That's their system, You see it all the time. It's like, you buy our system, it's this long landing page. You got to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to get to where you actually buy it. But the system, when you actually see it, what it is, it's this crazy outlier scenario, and then on top of that, you have to buy like 6 points. And so they pay like next to nothing. So they're like 94-3, but it's like plus 6 units is what it really is. Anyways, it is a winning system. It just takes, you're just dead by the time you cash your ticket. Anyways, I don't know, man. To me, that's just upsetting. I'm sorry for digressing here. Rod, would you take 18-11?
Oh, yeah, every week.
I would take it every single day.
Woo!
Yeah, 18-11 all day.
Oh, yeah.
All day. What percent is that? I don't even know. I got a calculator on my computer.
It's just over 60%. It's about 62%. Yeah.
60 what?
It's like 62%.
That is rock star. That is like off the chart. If you picked 18-11 consistently, you would be the number one handicapper on any site out there. You would be the number one. Like, for the year, for the month, you would be the week, you would be the number one guy. I mean, some guys might go on a hot run and might pass you for a day or two, but over the long haul, if you can go 18-11, if you have picks, you should put those in the Facebook group. Anyways, Chris, what are you looking at in college hoops today?
So the 3 games that kind of keyed in on, I like Charlotte plus 4.5 against Old Dominion. I just think you have 2 teams that are defensive minded that don't really.
Do you think that line's a little odd in that game? I looked at that game too. I did a video on it, and to me the line looks a little odd. So I think that Charlotte should be favored.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, I just think that I'll just take my points at that point. It's like I think Charlotte can win it outright. The line does look weird to me, but I mean,
ODU's been a cover machine. They've been a cover machine, and at home a cover machine. I like Charlotte there too, but like I said, funky lines always scare me. When it's like when something looks way off like that. Like, I think Charlotte should be favored. They're getting 4.5. So to me, that one, it's like probably bet the money line or don't bet it at all. How about what else do you like, Chris? You said you had 3.
I like West Virginia minus 8.5 against Texas. We saw Texas get throttled against Kansas.
Where's the Texas money coming from? This one opened at 10, right? You guys got anyone out there got any Texas money coming in on this thing? Because I got news for you. I'm on the Fire Shaka Smart bandwagon over here. Okay, I'm not even a Longhorn fan. I'm just offended that this guy makes this much money and has those kind of facilities, and this is the crap that he's putting on the court. I mean, at VCU, he had better teams than this. At least he made the Final Four. These teams aren't. He's not even going to make the tournament.
Do we know what Shaka's
I'm going to say that Texas, either a play-in at best case scenario, if like the committee decides to like really reach, there'll be a play-in game, but they still have that Big 12 gauntlet to run. I mean, they're going to have Texas Tech again, Kansas, Baylor. I mean, Baylor hates their guts, right? Oklahoma State. They are not going to beat any of those teams. Oklahoma again. Oklahoma slaughtered them. So I'm with you on West Virginia. I just want to know how this line drops from 10 to 8.5. Where is this Texas money on this 297th ranked offense against the 19th ranked defense in the nation? I just don't see it. I know that the Texas defense is ranked 26th, which is solid, but the West Virginia offense at least is in the middle of the pack. Texas is at the bottom of the barrel at however many millions of dollars a year, that Shaka Smart is making. I just don't see. I don't see the Texas money here. So when we look at Texas' Big 12. Lost to Baylor, lost to Oklahoma, lost to Kansas. They get to play those three again, right? So that's 3 more losses for sure. They're gonna lose this one. They'll lose to West Virginia again the second time. And then they beat Oklahoma State and they beat Kansas State. Kansas State's not good this year. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I see them being an NIT team for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think Shaka Smart can survive this? I mean, the expectation when you hire a Shaka Smart is not NIT. This is the same school that brought us Kevin Durant. You know, this is Texas. I mean, with Rich Barnes, right? You had Kevin Durant, Tristan Thompson, and that wasn't good enough. This is good enough. They're going to get run. They're going to get rung up. I mean, that game against Kansas, they were winning. They were winning in that game. I mean, you could have in-gamed Kansas in that thing. I mean, they had no chance. I mean, Kansas was like slept. They were playing poker on the sideline. And then he said, "Oh, yeah, there's a game." It's kind of like, you ever see the movie The Great White Hype, where like the fighter, he sits on the couch eating ice cream, and like, you know, he just gets this big gut. You know, it's Marlon Wayans, right? And he gets like this big gut going, and then he gets in the ring, and the guy like hits him, and all of a sudden he just, it's like, that's what the Kansas-Texas game was like. Just terrible. What else do you like, Chris?
The other one I like is Winthrop plus the 2.5 against Radford. Winthrop's just been a covering machine on the road, and I like the way that they've been playing lately, so I'll take the plus 2.5.
That's an interesting one. I did a video on that game. I don't do a lot of Radford videos, but I did one on that one. I think that it is a tight game, and you know, Winthrop struggles at the line, and that's always a problem in tight games. 342nd in the country in free throw shooting. That is really, really, really bad. They shoot 62% from the stripe. That's how you lose games. That is why they're not very good this year. Rod, what are you looking at in the college basketball world?
3 of the same ones, Chris. I like Charlotte. I like Winthrop. I like West Virginia. I like North Texas minus the 12.5. Big number, but I think they can cover that.
You got to say who they're playing.
Oh, I always think
Team A versus Team B.
Team A versus Team B
with the point spread.
I'm playing Rice.
Rice, that's it. Rice.
North Texas has been a monster against the spread this season. They've been really, really good. One of those teams that kind of flies under the radar, and it sucks for us, you know, as bettors that have caught on to this, because what happens now is they go on a Monday and all of a sudden people realize, whoa, North Texas is 13-4 against the number and 6-1 against the number at home. Where have I been? You know, it's like, I'll tell you where I've been. I've been on North Texas, and you know, I remember that Oklahoma video that I did, and I was like, this is the team to watch because this is the team that you can tell can cover the spread in a lot of these games. But 13 is a big number, but Rice, I don't even understand what these guys are doing. Sometimes you're just looking and say, what is the game plan here? What's the strategy? I know that they're a great academic school, so you would think that they would be thinking like, the Big 12 is always talking about expanding. It's like Rice is a great school to let in, right? They're not really good at much. They're right there in the Southwest in Texas, so it's not a long road trip that you're adding for the people that actually make those decisions there, which is Texas. And it's a fairly easy opponent. It's kind of like your Vandy, right? And plus they bring the whole academic standard of the entire conference up, like 10 rungs. So I think if the Big 12 is expanding, why not just head right on over to Rice? Welcome, Rice. The Big 12 Conference welcomes Rice University Owls.
Send you a muffin basket.
Come on in, the pool's warm. Oh, man. North Texas is one of the best rebounding teams out there on the defensive end, and they just really, really, really crush it on the defensive boards. That's how they've been covering those games, is that they don't give those second chance shots up. So when you don't give the second chance shots, even if you don't win, the other team doesn't get the chance to bury you, and that's basically how North Texas gets it done. I know it's not the sexy, exciting way, the guys tossing up threes and the whole arena going crazy, because rarely do people go crazy when when someone grabs a defensive rebound, but it is a big part of the game, and these are the things that I look at, the boring stuff, the stuff that nobody else is looking at, because those are the things that decide who covers and who doesn't. Who else do you like, Rod?
I also like Baylor. I think Baylor can beat Oklahoma. The number's 10, but I think they can cover the 10.
So here's where I am with Baylor against Oklahoma. Obviously, I gave out Baylor in the video, and I've been on Baylor since day one. When we did our first college basketball show, I love Baylor this year, right? I love Baylor. But here's the issue that we have now. We're in that point of the season. We're heading into February almost, and the rest of the world now realizes what Baylor is. This is kind of like my Joe Burrow 100-1 Heisman Trophy ticket. You couldn't get that ticket in you could get it in July at 100-1, but you couldn't get that ticket in October at 100-1, right? It was like 4-1, right? So the thing is that it was probably even less than 4-1 at that point. So I think with Baylor, the public is starting to catch on, and people are realizing just how good this Baylor team is, and they've played everybody. They haven't played like the soft schedule to get there. Look at who they beat. Texas Tech, Butler. They beat everybody. And Butler has 2 losses this season. Baylor's one of them, and when they had 1 loss that whole time. But Baylor can be had. I've watched them close enough to know. We saw it this past week. They can be had. I'm kind of leaning on switching to Oklahoma here. I just think that we're starting to see real public pressure on Baylor here, like real public pressure on them, and that's bad. It's never a good thing, It's never good. So I think I still like Baylor, but I'm treading lightly on Baylor with this.
Well, it's the 10 points, right? It's not a
right. It's the 10 points because we just saw them in a game that they should have absolutely slaughtered the team on Saturday.
They won by 8, right?
They won by 7, and it took a foul with like 5 seconds left, and for the guy to hit the 2 free throws to get the cover. They were outside the number the whole game. And it's like Oklahoma's not bad. Let's look at Oklahoma's schedule here. They've played some good teams too. Oklahoma. So they lost to Kansas and Iowa State on the road, They beat Texas by 10. They beat Kansas State, same team that Texas beat. They beat TCU by 20 last game. They were a 3-point favorite. They won by 20. Win over UCF, who's not bad. So we looked at their losses. Creighton, Wichita State. They beat North Texas by 2, right? North Texas covered. It was a 4.5-point spread. It's like you knew like something was up, right? And it's like I gave out North Texas like something's up. This is a team that can cover like no one's business. Yeah. Well, I think that most of the teams in the Big 12 conference are good. And Baylor's now covered 5 games in a row. The books aren't just going to let them run away with covering, the rest of the season. It's not going to happen. What else do you like? Any of these little games?
I looked at Grambling and Texas Southern, just two A teams. I lean towards Texas Southern in that one.
Would you take 18 and 11 in your last 29 picks?
Sure.
I can't get over that. I mean, it's going to take me a lot to get past that one.
Like,
say they're all minus 110, right? So you're plus 6.5 units. It's like you can't go broke, being up.
And some of them spread knowledge ones you gave out were plus money too.
Yes, some of those were plus money too.
As well. So.
I give up. There's nothing I can ever do that's going to make everybody happy. I go 18 and 11 and someone's bitching about it. It's like for free, right? I'm giving these out for free, and it's a free trial as well, 7-day free trial plus 10% off. It's like a penny a pick anyway. It's like, and still people complain. I don't even know what am I supposed to do, man.
Some people like to complain just for complaining.
Yeah, I think it's like, oh man, the software should be better than that. It's like, what exactly should it be? That's
it's supposed to give me the 12-team parlay winner of the year. Come on.
So
why stop there?
Yeah, because most books say, hey, you can't have any more than 12.
So. I talk about my brushes with greatness, and I'll have to bring this up with Steve Monahan at some point. But, like when I just recognize people. I have a really good knack of recognizing people because I watch a lot of sports. So it's like I recognize, So I'm in Cincinnati. I lived in Cincinnati for a little while. Carl Lindner was the owner of the Cincinnati Reds. And I'm in downtown Cincinnati. I was working back then. I had an office, that I worked in. I was outside. I was a smoker. So I was outside smoking. And I see Carl Lindner getting out of his Rolls Royce. It's got, and he's walking towards me, right? Because he's coming into the building. I'm outside, the ashtray outside the building. Back in the day, you didn't have to go to Egypt like you do now. I don't smoke anymore. I haven't smoked in years, but 15 years or something. But so I had heard Lindner on the radio say, I'll put more money into the team if people start showing up to the games. And I said to him, when I saw Lindner, I said, well, what's the ratio here? Like, how many people and how much money are you going to add in payroll? I said, because I don't really understand this formula. Isn't it kind of if you win, people will show up? So I kind of need to know, as a Reds, someone that buys Reds tickets and goes to games, not all the time, but I go once in a while. I need to know exactly, like, is it 600,000 fans you're going to add, I don't know, 2 million in payroll? Exactly how is this going to work? So he continues walking right past me, and some guy about 7 feet tall just says, get the hell away from him. That was it. That was the whole story. It's like, you can't just make a blanket statement like that. It's like, so I need to know the ratio here. Is it 1 million fans is going to be $20 million to the payroll? It's like, get the hell away from him. Okay.
Sir.
Well, we got a few more other games on the board here, but You can check it out at pickdawgz.com. We got free picks on every single game. Anyways. Yeah, Enrique thinks this is his show. I have no idea what he's even saying. Just remove his comment because I'm not going to sit here trying to figure it out. I did a spread knowledge show. That Yale game was one of the picks, so you can go back and watch that one. I'm not really sure what more I can do. I have a limit as to the number of times I can go over each game. It's just an internal limit where, you know, I say what it is. It's usually about 2 or 3, where I kind of I check out of the relationship and we just end the show because I just can't talk about the same games over and over again. It's really, really crappy. It's called not fun for me, right? I mean, is there anybody here that likes to repeat themselves? Like if your wife asks you a question, you answer it, right? And then 2 minutes later she asks you the same question, right? That's okay because it's your wife, right? But it's like, you guys aren't my wife. You're not even close.
You stay in your life.
Oh man, I love you guys, but I ain't gonna answer the same question over and over again. That ain't gonna happen. Rod, who do you like in the NBA today? We got a full 14-game card. We're just only 2 teams not in action today.
Is that how many? Just 2 aren't playing? Crazy card. It's huge. I like Lakers. Lakers at Boston. Give me the Lakers here.
The line in that one was 2 points.
+2.
I love Boston in that game. I love them. Love them. I will say
I guess
that
we're all
much.
set on that one.
Love Boston in that game for a lot of reasons. Number one is that every comment has been the Lakers are going to win. Number 2, I lived in Boston for 5 or 6 years. I think it was 6 years. And those fans, they live for the Lakers game. And Boston's a pretty good home team. LeBron James generally doesn't win the impossible game to win on the road. I mean, he did it once in his career when they beat the Warriors and he came up with the block, right, on Harrison Barnes. But outside of that, he rarely wins that impossible to win spot. This is a bad spot. Celtics on a holiday, bad.
We'll see.
What else?
That's like Sacramento at Miami. Give me Miami here. Miami's at home, and I don't think we can cover that. I'm not a
6
Kings
points
aren't
is the line on that game.
Yeah. Give me the Heat. They can cover that. I also like Orlando. Orlando at Charlotte. Give me Charlotte +4.
It's up to 4.5 now, so you get a bonus hook.
Bonus. And Denver at Minnesota. Give me Denver here. Denver +2.5.
It's a weird line, right? A lot of guys are out on Denver, and they're on the back. They're one of 4 teams that are on a back-to-back today. So Jamal Murray is out, right? So he's a pretty key guy for the Nuggets. But the Timberwolves 6-14 at home, 5-14-1 against the number. Meanwhile, the Nuggets come in at 29-13, and you're going to be laying 2.5 points against that. I am with you. I think either you take the Nuggets, and it's one of those games. If you take the Timberwolves, if you take the Nuggets and you lose, you're kind of like, oh man, I should have known better because of that line. And if you don't take the Nuggets and they clobber them, it's kind of like, man, I knew they were going to be. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Anything else here in the NBA, Rod?
Those are the 4 NBA for me today.
So it was the Lakers, Charlotte, Nuggets,
Miami.
and Miami. Chris?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll start. I'm on Miami -6 as well against Sacramento. I'm just Miami at home, and I'm not even trying to figure out which Sacramento team's going to show up, and I don't think it matters with Miami being at home. I also like Philadelphia +2 against Brooklyn. Philadelphia was struggling to put the Knicks away on the road last time out, but
5-point inverted line. It went from
yeah.
Brooklyn +2.5 to -2.5. The line's gone 5 points through 0. It's like, man, people hate the Sixers' guts.
Yeah,
hate them.
Yeah, I still like the value of the free bucket, though. I just think they're the better team. And I really like Oklahoma City +6.5 against Houston.
And Embiid's still out. Horford is questionable. What was the other one?
Oklahoma City +6.5 against Houston.
Thunder playing well recently. How about the Pacers against the Jazz, man? 7 points seems like a ton, right? In this game. But the Jazz have really been playing well. Any thoughts on that?
I would lean the Jazz. I give me the Jazz there. I think they can cover that big number. It is, yeah, but I think the Jazz can cover. They're rested, sitting at home, waiting. Indy played last night, and did they not cover? Oh, actually, no, they won outright.
They won out.
They were
spread knowledge pick.
Point. Yeah.
It's a spread knowledge winner.
Yeah.
I'll go the other.
I believe actually we gave that one out money line as well.
Yeah.
On spread knowledge, we gave it out money line and spread. So actually, it's 19-11-1. Still not good enough for Aaron D, but it's good enough for me. 19-11-1. I'll go back and correct that. Oh no, it is 19-11-1. The software anyway. It was 19-11-1. Now it's he had the wrong record. It's 20-11-1 now. There, I had it wrong. Usually, if it's the other way around, people correct me, and I have to go back and fix it. But now we're 20-11-1. Wow. So what's our winning percentage now? Because Aaron D doesn't like to win like that. Chris is our statistician.
65%.
Better than 62%, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's about 64%.
64%, 20-11-1. It's close to 66%. Good, it's getting up there. How about the Grizz and the Pelicans? It's another good one.
That might be the game I'm trying to watch tonight.
Yeah.
Which one's
5 o'clock start. We got all day NBA basketball. We got early hockey. We got early college hoops. It's King Day. 2 or 3 years ago, the Big East did a King Day, the way that NBA is doing it today, where they start early and they kind of just play all day long. The Big East did it every 2 hours. They had a game a few years ago. It was awesome. I don't know why. I guess they don't do it anymore because now the NBA stole their idea and said, we're going to just push you out of it. But it was awesome, man. It was like Butler, Providence, and Seton Hall against, St. John's and stuff, like one after another. Georgetown, Villanova. It was like, just kept, the Big East can wheel them out this year. I mean, who doesn't make the tournament from the Big East this year? It's like, right? It's like, man, that is DePaul, it's like, good. Oh, Rutgers.
There's a few more good teams I noticed this year than what there was last year.
I think that this will be the hardest year for teams out of like the Mountain West and the WCC and conferences like that, like Gonzaga, BYU, and St. Mary's, like in the Mountain West and the A10. This will be the toughest year they've ever had to get teams into the tournament because the Big East is so deep. I could see almost every team in the Big East getting in. The Pac-12 is way better than it's been in a long time. The Big 12 is ridiculously deep as well. I mean, the ACC is always the ACC. And the Big 10, even Rutgers is going to get in. Well, let's do a recap. What do you say? We got Australian Open tennis covered at the site these days. We got Liam doing the write-ups. He's awesome. Those of you into fantasy sports, Brett tears it up post those in the Facebook group, on Twitter, and on our website as well. We have free picks on every single game, every single day at Pick Dawgz. And of course, I have videos on all the NBA games and most of the major college basketball games today, even some of these other little guys. Chris, let's go.
All right, we'll start on the ice. I like Colorado on the puck line against Detroit for a couple extra bets in that game. I like the under 6.5, and I like the option of both teams to score no in 60 minutes, plus 425. I like Florida minus 110 against Minnesota. College hoops, I like Charlotte plus 4.5 against Old Dominion. West Virginia minus 8.5 against Texas. And Winthrop plus 2.5 against Radford. For the NBA, I like Philly plus 2 against Brooklyn. Oklahoma City plus 6.5 against Houston. And Miami minus 6 against Sacramento.
We got 139 people watching us on YouTube and 53 thumbs up. If you guys could please hit the thumbs up. It is greatly appreciated. It costs you nothing. It takes you half a second. It helps us a lot. So please hit the thumbs up. Rod.
All right, here we go. We'll start with the NBA. I like the Lakers plus 2. Give me the Heat minus 6. Charlotte plus 4. It's now 4.5. I still like plus 4.5. Give me Denver plus 2.5. College hoops. I like West Virginia minus the 8.5. I like Winthrop plus the 2.5. And sprinkle a little on money line. Give me Charlotte plus 4.5. Sprinkle a little on the money line there as well. And NHL. I like Colorado. Their team total over 3.5. I see like a 4-1 game, 5-1 game at the most. So I'm with Chris as well. Give me the under there too. I don't see a whole lot of goals there. And in Florida and the Wild, give me the Wild on the money line. I think they can beat Florida at home. I also like North Texas minus the 12.5 over Rice. And I lead Texas Southern minus the 1. For me, I got a 3-team birdcage. Give me Miami minus the 6, Charlotte plus 4.5, and college basketball. The Charlotte 4.5 in college basketball, and West Virginia minus 8.5.
Georgeville, why is it so hard for people to do? I'm going to guess he's talking about the thumbs up, hitting the thumbs up. People don't do it because they don't care. It's like they just want to take free picks. They want to come. They expect me to give free picks. I mean, I give out 20 and 11 on the computer picks, and someone said, that's not good enough. I mean, I have no idea. But this guy, Enrique, his ESPN isn't working or something, but I don't see him listed as out for this game. So I'm going to guess that means he's in. I gave out picks on all the NBA games. I did videos on them all, so you can check those all out. Most of the college basketball games I did videos on. On this game, I pretty much just said that I did a video on Baylor. I'm a little scared of that one. Too many people on the Bears these days. Getting a little too popular, that pick. And so I'm kind of starting to lean off of Baylor, not just in this game, but altogether as far as covering spreads. And I really like the Celtics today against the Lakers. I really, really like them. The line's moving the opposite direction. All the money, everything's going on the Lakers. This is where the Celtics go crazy. I'm telling you, it's going to be the toughest crowd the Lakers face all season long. I like the Celtics big. And let's bring back the guys. Oh, little different setup. It was accidental, but it happened. Thanks, guys, again for joining me. It's always fun, always a pleasure.
Yep.
Got, like these guys said, we got the NHL All-Star game coming up, so I don't know, maybe I'll just have one of these guys on each day with me. And then we'll let them rotate back and forth, take a day off, sleep in, do whatever it is they do. Well, that I don't want to know. But just don't get arrested. That's what I...
Yeah.
I'll try.
When I used to live in Chicago,
get
my
arrested.
cousin calls me and says, "Is it okay if my son stays at your house?" Okay, so he shows up at my condo, right? My one bedroom apartment in Chicago with 9 friends. Okay, so all right, you guys can all stay here. They camp out on the floor. You know, they kind of do their own thing, sleeping bags, the whole thing. And I say, I don't care what you guys do. You know, here's the key to the house. Go out, have a good time, enjoy the concert. Just don't get arrested. Sure enough, 2 of them got arrested. You know, it's like, how hard is this? How hard is this? It's like, just don't get arrested. They don't do anything. Yeah, he's just passing his friend a knapsack with, like, you know, 6 ounces of weed in it or something. I wasn't doing anything.
I wasn't doing anything. No.
This is the face of innocence.
I didn't do nothing. Anyways, thanks you guys for joining me. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone that hit the thumbs up. Of course, we did the Spread Knowledge show this morning. If you didn't get a chance to see that one, go back and take a look at it. I gave out 2 picks. It's 20-11-1, that software. Well, some people think that that's not good enough. Shit, it's good enough for me any day of the week. Thanks everyone for joining me. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. We got tons of college hoops tomorrow. 1 NBA and 5 NHL as they break it down for the All-Star game. Start to close down shop. Man, the NBA is like Sweden, man. They just take tons of holidays, right? It's like lots of vacation. It seems that they get like anytime they have like a window for a vacation, it's like, let's take 5 days. It's like, how many days? Let's take 4 days off. Make it 5. You know, it's like
after my 4 days off, it's a day of rest.
It's like in Sweden they get 5 weeks vacation, man, in August, like the whole month of August plus another week, and it's one of those things where it's like it's a 5-week vacation, so people take a week on each side of it as well. It's like, why even bother showing up at all? You know, it's like. Anyways, Mitch, thanks guys. I'll see everyone. I'll see everyone tomorrow.